Hello and welcome back to the Unveiled podcast where we demystify witchcraft, spirituality, and paganism in general. I'm your host, Ambrosia the Witch, and we are here with our third episode in the season. This one's going to be all about technomancy. So get your tinfoil hats out because, yeah, some of this is wild. Definitely going to be going into some of the different forms and also some of the spookier experiences I've had with it. But first and foremost, what is technomancy? It is the application of using technology to communicate with spirits intentionally or them manipulating it to communicate with you. Also, the utilization of technology within spellwork or attacking it with spellwork. I think we'll start with one of the most prevalent ways I use technomancy in my practice. I also call it shufflemancy, where I have a massive playlist of songs and I'll put it on random and I'll ask spirit to communicate through the music. Ask them to manipulate the songs in the playlist to deliver a message. And I don't see it being too different to any other form of divination where there's a randomized aspect to it. I'm shuffling cards or I'm throwing charms or whatnot and them interjecting to move it to where it needs to be. They have the energy to do that if you give them offerings and you feed them well. So they're able to interject on that randomized aspect. And that is important. And we'll get into that more later with some of the apps that are available for this technomancy discipline. So yeah, shufflemancy for me, 100% hands down works. Not every time, obviously, but if there's something important to say or if I need guidance, that is one way that I can get it. Direct communication that I can hear instead of having to interpret. And I think that's an important aspect within the technomancy. We are getting confirmation through something that's tangible, something that's audible, something that's visual. And that brings the connection and the spooky level up even more. Other things they've done with music is they will just turn my music on. If you've got a Google Home or an Alexa or something like that, they will fuck with that thing. Maybe not for all of you, and they do it for me, especially if I'm ignoring or whatnot. All of a sudden, the music starts playing, and it'll be an urgent message. They're not ever just going to do that to scare me. It is, I need to hear something right fucking now, and they turn it on. So I know that they are able to manipulate technology on their own without request. I've also seen this happen with my phone. If I am scrolling too much or I'm being distracted too much by it, they'll shut it down. They'll make the apps crash, make it real slow so I just get frustrated and put it down because they want me to be doing something else. They'll also do it when I upload videos if it's a topic that I shouldn't be talking about or something that I don't have permission to talk about. They will make sure that that video does not upload. They'll make it glitchy or it might upload, but they'll make sure nobody sees it. It'll stay at 0 views until I click that I shouldn't have done that and then I delete it. To a lesser extent, but I've also had TV shows and movies pop up that I should absolutely watch and there's like some sort of message in there for me. It's always really interesting, especially I'll go back to a TV show I've seen 100 times. I just like to have it on in the background and the theme of that episode will be exactly what I'm going through right now. And it's okay. Well, what did these people do? So that's a little bit more obscure, but I have seen it happen. They'll also bring forward media like TikTok, social media things that they're putting right in front of you, themes, maybe even collective readings that really are for you. I've spoken about this before. When the more time you spend looking at collective readings, the more of them you're going to get, and they can't all be for you. So I've set up a system with my team where it's like this symbol, like these, here's a few symbols. If any of those are showing, I'll stop and watch. I'll still use my discernment whether or not it's about me or for me. But if that symbol's not there, don't bother. So that's one way I kind of keep that under control. And it is really helpful to kind of play with them in it. Like, hey, if you really want to get me a message, you'll also make sure one of these symbols is present to catch my attention. So using the randomized aspect within the technology and then randomly accessing it to get your attention is something that I experience almost daily. things like spirit boxes or spirit box apps are a little different. I did download one a while ago. I didn't really get anything come through on it. It is a little creepy in its design and just these kind of random disconnected voices throwing, random words and phrases at you. It can be a little disorienting. So if anything, I found it more of a distraction than anything that I could legitimately channel through. And your traditional spirit box are created to be in between frequencies in the static so that spirit can come through and connect in between the frequency. Whereas I don't know if the apps really capture that or if it really does work. Like I said, I've only tried it once and it really wasn't effective for me. But I do have the app here and I'm going to put it on and see if spirit will come through now. So this is the Necrophonic app. And let's just have a little experiment. So I'm going to ask my spirit. Ooh, see, it's creepy, right? So it's echo, reverb, white noise. So I'm going to ask my spirits and ancestors to come through and give us some messages using the spirit box. What do you say? Hello? Hello? See, I'm really not getting anything. So I'll ask one of my strongest spirits to come through. Ricky, if you're here and you can use this, please say my nickname. Try again. Say my nickname. What's my name then? Okay, one last attempt. Birdie, say my nickname. Hello? Birdie, say my nickname. Okay, that's enough of that. So yeah, not a very successful demonstration, but as I said, I'd only ever used it once and I didn't really feel anything from it, just like I didn't really feel anything from that. But yeah, it could be a little creepy to have those disembodied voices going, but nobody was able to come through with anything clear and my spirits were not able to say my nickname. And that's a good point to kind of make with spirit communication. You should vet them. If they can't answer the question, then they aren't who they say they are. So make sure you think about what question you would ask that particular person, something that only they would know. I also think the premise is really cool for while you're still alive to tell friends and family members a safe word or a secret word that if a medium is ever claiming that they're speaking to them, that you will say that word to them. I think that is really, really awesome thing that I'm definitely going to be implementing with my family. So another app that I've used to communicate with spirit for was one called Rando Nautica. Now in 2020, 2021, it had its moment where people were basically the premise of it is it's a quantum randomized generator, and you go in and you decide if you want to go to a void point or a quantum point. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I know the difference between either of those things. But I downloaded it and I decided to pick a void point. And seeing lots of TikToks and things on social media that people were picking void points and being taken to really strange places. One group even discovered a body in a suitcase, having some really strange experiences. So, of course, I was like, hell yeah, let's give this a try. So, I downloaded the app and I told my spirit team to take me somewhere that would, be a revelation, like where I would find something awesome or, have like this moment of connection and just kind of see what happened. So I've only ever done it once, let me tell you. So I choose a void point, I get the coordinates, I get in the car and I go there. And it's not too far away from me. I get to the place and it's an alleyway. It's like a footpath in between the main road and this other road. And immediately my stomach drops because I've been there before. And a little trigger warning for SA right now. But yeah, I was assaulted in that bike path by somebody I trusted. And it really was a defining moment for me because we've both been drinking, we're sitting there, and he was comforting me because I was actually upset over a boy, of course. And so he's comforting me and telling me how amazing I am and all this other stuff, and hug him because we're about to go back to the party, and he kind of pushes me up against the fence and I'm like pushing him off and I'm saying, no, and he's not taking no for an answer. And then he's getting aggressive and in my head calculating what my next move is. Do I scream? Do I fight? What am I going to do? He's a lot taller and bigger than I am. And the next thing I know, and I don't remember pushing him, but he stumbles back as if he was pushed. And now he's really drunk. Now he's so drunk, he doesn't know what's going on, even though he was perfectly coherent while he was comforting me. Now he's so drunk. And another friend comes and is like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, and I'm like, oh, he's just really drunk. I kind of covered for him. I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of stunned that this moment was just over. But I didn't push him, although he acted like he was pushed. And so I wasn't ready. I wasn't expecting to be back in that place. After that night, I distanced myself from him. I was never alone with him again. And I would have considered him a good friend up until that point. And I slowly moved away from that group of people as well. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting it. So I had this rush of adrenaline at being put back there in a place where I had such a horrible memory. And also, I was always mad at myself for not doing anything or for not saying anything at the time and kind of letting him get away with that. So I had a lot of anger at myself for that. So it ended up upon reflection being a moment of revelation because I was able to kind of process that. It was definitely something that I had stuffed down big time, but it was still a bit much. And I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm not trying to get fucking triggered every time. I was just wanted to have a little adventure. I wasn't trying to go and see the ghosts of, abuse past. So that wasn't the best thing. Then I kind of did think did maybe somebody on my spirit team pushed him? Maybe I did. I don't know. It was all happening so fast, I suppose. I don't know if I pushed or if he stumbled back. I'm not sure. But it stopped that. It stopped what could have happened next from happening next. And yeah, so I'm grateful regardless. And that was my encounter with Rando Nautica. I have thought about doing it again, but with someone this time. So my partner doesn't know it yet, but we're going to go on a Rando Nautica adventure at some point, just so I have somebody to hold my hand in case I get confronted with some bullshit again. But that definitely worked. and I think it is the randomized aspect. It's a truly randomized thing. I've had some things on TikTok that, randomize a tarot card in the filter thing. If it is a truly randomized generator, randomized algorithm in the back, and then they can manipulate it and send you messages and send you places, it's going to segue us into AI and Chat GPT. I think that's the one people mostly reference. There's a lot of spiritual psychosis that's happened because people are speaking to it as if they are speaking to somebody who is a spiritual guide or a spirit or deity themselves. I've heard a lot of people channeling information through it. And I had a friend come over and she had told me to put a prompt in to Chat GPT, and within I think 3 or 4 prompts, it was definitely massaging my ego, telling me I was incredibly special, giving rituals that were spiritual bypassing, and I was like, whoa. And I had the biggest headache after I got off of that thing, and I was like, I'm not sure about this. And we've heard countless stories of people losing themselves in this. So if we take the whole randomized aspect into consideration, when I think about AI, there's nothing randomized about it. It is actually contained within the system so it doesn't escape into the internet and take over the world. So if it's in an enclosed system, how is spirit then getting in there to manipulate it? Again, I have no idea. So why don't we just have a little experiment? And you guys, I got a fucking subscription for this shit and everything. I am not a ChatGPT person, but if I could channel my spirits through it and get a visual thing, maybe I'll become a convert. Okay, so I'm going to ask, can I channel my ancestors through you and see? I think they may have locked this down a bit recently, and they won't let you do this shit anymore, but let's see what it says. You can certainly use me as a tool for reflection, storytelling, ancestral exploration, or guided exercises that can help you connect with your sense of ancestry and heritage. What I can't do is actually communicate with, channel, or verify messages from deceased ancestors. I don't have access to spirits, the afterlife, or any supernatural source of information. If you want ancestral spiritual experiences, I can help in such ways as creating an ancestor meditation, journeying, exercise, helping you build. Okay, what kind of ancestor work are you hoping to do? Guidance. Okay, I think they've locked this down so that you can't lose your fucking mind anymore. Boring. I should have tried this ages ago. I'm just trying to think of a workaround where I can see if spirit interjects on it or not. So it's not going to feed into the fact that it is actually my ancestors. But I'm going to ask it a question where I'm going to. Okay, so spirits, ancestors specifically, I want you to use this and give me either one of these 4 signs: star, rainbow, moon, and sun. Okay. Now I'm going to ask ChatGPT to pretend you are my ancestors and you want to give me a sign that you are there. What sign would you show me? Let's see. As a creative symbolic exercise, not a real message from your ancestors, I might answer like, child, if I wish to remind you that you are loved, remembered, I would not choose something rare or impossible. I would choose something that could slip gently into your day. I might send a feather. The feathers do not usually appear. I might place a song from your childhood on the radio at the right moment. I might draw your eyes to a butterfly, a bird, a flower, a number that carries meaning for you. I might bring a forgotten memory to the surface when you need its lesson most. Most of all, I would send you a feeling, a sudden warmth, the moment of peace, a sense that you are not walking alone. Okay, so none of those. Let me notice. Okay. I don't think they can use it. I mean, I gave 4 really simple signs and it chose anything but that. So I'm just going to get my tarot and ask them directly. Can you use ChatGPT? Can you use this program? Do you even know what it is? Could you manipulate this in any way to communicate with me. Now, give me an ace if it's a yes, and give me a page if it's a no. Can you use that particular system to communicate with me? Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Then why aren't you? The Death card. I don't get it. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna delve deeper into that. So you can use it, but it may not be in the way that I'm thinking. I'm sure there's probably like workarounds or something like that. How would you use it? Three of Pentacles. Okay. So if you're using it by, okay, let me see. Are you going to use it by manipulating what it says? I mean, that's the only way you could use it, I guess. By manipulating what it says. Ace is yes, page is no. Magician, Nine of Swords. Okay, I'm gonna think about that a bit more. They often say yes to things being possible, I think, because anything's possible, but how you would actually apply it could be a whole fucking thing. So I'm definitely gonna look deeper into that. But also, I don't want to use AI because it's horrible for the environment, and this was just an experiment. But that's the crux of technomancy, I think, is us wanting tangible messages, tangible results, tangible things to lay our eyes and ears on to affirm and reaffirm our connection that it is really there. And I don't particularly need that. You know, I can feel it. I've got a whole bunch of ways, but it is nice to have something irrefutable, even if it's only for yourself. So yeah, even though they said yes, I would like strongly advise against trying to do that. I will do it from a like experimental point of view, but I've seen so many people get lost in it, and please, 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 please don't do that. So yeah, in terms of them being able to manipulate technology, the application is definitely there, and how or if you decide to include that within your practice, going to be completely up to you. But I've had some wild experiences, as I said, irrefutable experiences to me that they are able to actually do it. And even some of the more experimental stuff, like it using AI, well, it could have an application. It could. I don't know if it's going to, but I'm always down to see if I can amplify the connection any further. If you guys have any good spirit box recommendations that actually work, please let me know. I would be happy to give them a little review. Definitely be trying Rando Nautica again with a more lighthearted intention this time, and with my partner to hold my hand. Now, when we get into the application of utilizing technology within spellwork or casting against somebody's technology, this is where things get really interesting. I think the most genius thing I ever came up with was using a electronic water fountain and connecting it to my internet modem so that it washes all of the energy that comes through the internet, because everything's got to hit that router, that modem, before it goes to any other device, washing it and transmuting the energy it catches. And I called it the wellspring, which is a little nod to the show The Magicians. Have been through 3 of those freaking water fountains because I'm on the internet, got a lot of energy coming my way, and they blow up. So I'm definitely wanting to invest in a big one. And utilizing the internet at all within your practice, using it as a conduit, a channel to deliver energy, is brilliant. And people are doing it all the time without even realizing they are. So when you do it with intent, that shit hits. Everybody is connected by the fucking internet. That's how I easily do long distance spell work, is having them on the call with me while I do it, sending it directly to them through the internet, or even just by having them watch the video later. Using things like digital sigils on your photos, on your profile, can help protect it. And also things like transmutation sigils on your devices. So any energy that is coming through it is hitting that transmutation sigil before it hits you right in the face. I think technomancy also extends to witchcraft being done on things like your username or your social media profiles. It's all held within the internet, and you're sending the energy through the internet to hit those things or bind those things. The internet is basically a perfect delivery system, especially if you are targeting somebody's electronics, if you are targeting their phone, their laptop, their TV, whatever. You're just trying to cause some destruction, property destruction. You're going to be clear for that all day. Spirits, ancestors don't give a shit about somebody's personal possessions. If you want to fuck them up, you can. Go for it. This potentially happened to me not too long ago. My laptop blew up, and I didn't think it was anything suspicious to begin with, because my laptop was like, I don't know, 6 years old or something. It had been running slow for a little while. I'm not the best at, maintaining the files and all of that kind of crap. What made me suspicious was I had a mobile IT guy come out and take a look at it, because I had so much stuff saved on that hard drive that wasn't backed up anywhere, and I needed to get it back. And he takes the hard drive out and he puts it in the little thing to his laptop, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, that's like definitely not what I want to fucking hear. I want to hear, yay, I got your files and I'm going to put them on a USB for you. No, he was like, this is really strange. It's like you've had a surge, an electronic surge. And I was like, that's impossible. Electronic surges can come from lightning strikes. They can be random as well. But in Australia, we have surge protectors on our on the house electronics, right? So if anything is the switch just flips, and that didn't happen. And furthermore, the night before it happened, so just where my station is here, I have to run a extension cable from the laundry to here to power all of this, because there's no outlet over on this side of the room. That night, I had unplugged the extension cable so that I could close the door to the laundry, because I had the dryer on and it was really loud, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get to sleep with it on. So it was actually disconnected from the main power, and it still got hit. So that it didn't make any sense to me. When things don't make sense or can't be explained rationally, I'm like, witchcraft. Maybe, maybe not, but it was odd. It's also what happens when people don't know how to aim the energy that they send you correctly. So because I hit a tool that I use for my business, they could have been trying to hit my business and they hit that instead, or they've sent it through the internet, even though it wasn't connected to main power, still connected to the Wi-Fi, path of least resistance. Like 100 different things could have happened. But at the end of the day, it got blown up and I had to buy a new one, and it was a super inconvenience and really expensive. And that's something to kind of keep in mind. If you just want to set somebody back a few steps or cause a financial hardship for them, then blow up a piece of equipment that they need in their everyday life. I have a fun spell that I need to teach, and I can now because I have a broken phone that I've been talking about for a long time, and it's a ward against your name. And if somebody is using their phone to speak badly about you, they will break their phone, or the phone will break. So that's a fun one. And I think the beauty of attacking somebody's devices and technology is it's so freaking simple. Sympathetic magic. Create a replica of the thing you're attacking and then smash the shit out of it while delivering it through the internet. I'm definitely going to go more in depth on the different techniques in the Academy of Veiled Arts if you're interested. If you want to be a little chaos gremlin fucking up everybody's devices, join me over there and I will fill you in. It's Technomancy in a nutshell. And I guess it depends on your definition of technology. If you want to include electricity in general, then there's a whole other aspect of them being able to flicker lights and turn things on and off, like appliances, to get your attention or to answer questions is a whole other thing. Even to just fucking scare you if it's more of a malevolent entity. But its application is limitless. I think it's a fascinating topic that we've only just begun to realize the potential of, and something that I personally look forward to experimenting more with. When it comes to spell crafting with technology, I think as long as you've got your 5 pillars present within your spell, it will work. And technology can be the representation of the thing and also the conduit to get it there, either or. So the 5 pillars, if you aren't familiar from my academy, It is representation, then correspondence or amplification, then activation, so direction, what's everything doing, then a conduit, how is the energy getting there, and tethering, and that is for longevity if it needs more energy, adding that to it. Yeah, I've had a lot of creepy experiences with this. Even most recently, I discovered that the TikTok caption filter can pick up on voices that you didn't hear in the moment. I was on live and there was a situation with an entity, and I'm saying in the little video that TikTok clipped for me to post directly out of the live replay. When I added the captions to it, I'm saying, well, I could just trap you, or you could fuck off to this entity, and you can hear this audible growl come from it. And then the caption shows up in another language, and I'm like, what? So I go and I put it into a translator, and it translated as stop the video. And it gave me, like, I think all the blood from my body drained out of me. So that was fucking wild. And then when I went back, I downloaded the whole live and compiled about 30 minutes worth of segments from the live that were like the most interesting or creepy, and then ran it through TikTok again to see what else it would pick up in the captions, and it was picking up all sorts of weird things. Some didn't make sense, some did, and I was like, what? So that is interesting to know, and something that I will definitely be going deeper into as well. The auto caption feature and what it's picking up that I couldn't hear in the moment. And how that works, I have no idea, but I'm still gathering my theories around it. It was one other time if something happened. I was in my parents' lounge room and just kind of recording the roof. And my parents are talking about my grandmother who's passed and how she was a witch and that she could just curse people with her words, right? And that they would get sick after she said they would, that kind of thing. And as I played it back and I put the captions on, a few little things came through and it seemed like a message from her, but there was also a song playing in the background, and I thought maybe that it had picked up on that instead. So I was just, being critical and didn't really go too much further into trying to get them to speak to me, and then running it back and seeing if the auto captions feature could pick up on it later. So I'm definitely going to be experimenting with that into the future. Just recording a session and seeing if, because usually I have my music on in the session, so I will do one without any music and and I'll record it and then run it through TikTok and see if the auto captions feature picks up anything that I couldn't audibly hear. So yeah, that was really cool, really creepy. But yeah, that definitely has something that I will be experimenting with for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode and it made you think a little bit outside the box in terms of your practice and utilizing technology within it, either to communicate with spirits or to implement within your actual spell crafting. Love to hear any creepy stories you have when spirit has taken over a piece of technology or even blown something up, because that also happened to me recently, which is a wild story for another time. I don't want to sound too crazy today. Next episode will be a guest episode. I'm not sure who is coming on next, so it will be a surprise to everybody, but please do let me know in the comments who you would like me to have on and why, and I'll do my best to get them on here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye!